Have you ever imagined a world where dragons and humans are sworn enemies, but one small act of kindness changes everything? That's exactly the story behind How to Train Your Dragon. This movie isn't just about dragons. It's about courage, friendship, and proving that being different can actually change the world. So today, we're diving into the full story of How to Train Your Dragon and why it became one of the most loved animated movies ever. Let's begin. Long ago, on a small island in the north, there was a Viking village called Berg. It was the kind of place where the weather was harsh, the people were tough, and dragons attacked almost every night. For the Vikings who lived there, fighting dragons wasn't just a job, it was part of everyday life. The leader of the village was Stork the Vast, a powerful warrior who had spent most of his life protecting Berg from dragons. He was respected, feared, and known for his strength, but his son was nothing like him. His son's name was Hiccup. Hiccup was skinny, awkward, and definitely not the kind of Viking people expected. While everyone else trained with swords and axes, Hiccup preferred building strange machines and inventions. Most of the villagers thought he was weak and useless. Even his father struggled to understand him. But Hiccup wanted one thing more than anything else. He wanted to prove that he could be a real Viking. One night, as dragons attacked the village again, Hiccup tried to help using one of his inventions. He had built a special weapon designed to trap a dragon in midair. Nobody believed it would work, but during the chaos of the attack, Hiccup fired the weapon toward the sky. Somehow, he actually hit something. No one believed him when he said he had shot down a dragon, especially because the dragon he claimed to hit was the most mysterious dragon of them all, the Night Fury. A dragon so rare that most people thought it was just a myth. The next morning, Hiccup went into the forest to find the dragon he had shot down. After searching for a while, he finally found it trapped in the trees. The dragon was enormous, dark as night, and clearly injured. For a moment, Hiccup held a knife in his hand. Killing the dragon would finally prove he was a true Viking. But when he looked into the dragon's eyes, something stopped him. The dragon didn't look like a monster, it looked scared. Hiccup slowly lowered the knife. Instead of killing the dragon, he cut the ropes that trapped it and let it go free. The dragon stared at him for a moment, confused, before flying away. That moment changed everything. Days later, Hiccup returned to the forest hoping to see the dragon again. Eventually, he did. The Night Fury was hiding in a clearing, but something was wrong. It couldn't fly properly. When Hiccup had shot it down, part of its tail had been damaged, making it impossible for the dragon to control its flight. Hiccup slowly approached the dragon and began studying it. At first, the dragon didn't trust him. But little by little, the two began to understand each other. Hiccup even gave the dragon a name. Toothless. Despite his terrifying appearance, Toothless behaved more like a curious animal than a deadly monster. He was playful, intelligent, and surprisingly loyal. Seeing that Toothless couldn't fly properly, Hiccup decided to help. Using his talent for invention, he built a mechanical tail fin that would replace the damaged one. The device worked, but there was one problem. The tail fin could only function if someone controlled it manually. That meant Hiccup had to ride on Toothless's back to help him fly. The first time they took flight together was unforgettable. As they soared above the clouds, Hiccup experienced something he had never felt before: freedom. While all of this was happening, Hiccup was also attending dragon training in the village with the other teenagers. The purpose of the training was simple: learn how to fight and defeat dragons. But now Hiccup understood dragons differently. Instead of fighting them, he used what he had learned from Toothless. He stayed calm, studied their behavior, and found ways to calm them instead of attacking them. To everyone's surprise, Hiccup quickly became the best student in the training arena. No one could understand how the weakest boy in the village suddenly became the most skilled dragon fighter. One person, especially, didn't believe it. Her name was Astrid. Astrid was strong, confident, and determined to become the best warrior in Berk. She didn't trust Hiccup's sudden success, so she secretly followed him one day and discovered his secret. She saw Toothless. At first she was shocked and angry, but after Hiccup took her flying on Toothless, she realized something incredible. Dragons weren't evil creatures after all. They were simply misunderstood. Soon, Hiccup discovered something even more shocking. The dragons that attacked Berk weren't doing it because they wanted to. They were being forced to. Somewhere far away was a giant dragon that controlled all the others. This massive creature demanded constant food, and if the dragons didn't obey, it would destroy them. So the dragons stole food from the village just to survive. Unfortunately, when Stoik discovered Toothless, he captured the dragon. Believing that Toothless could lead them to the dragon nest, the Vikings followed him across the ocean. When they arrived, they found the truth. A gigantic dragon known as the Red Death. The creature was enormous, terrifying, and far stronger than anything the Vikings had ever faced. When it awoke, it attacked everything in its path. The Vikings tried to fight it, but their weapons barely slowed it down. Just when things looked hopeless, Hiccup and Toothless arrived. Together with Astrid and the other young Vikings, they fought the giant dragon in the sky. The battle was intense and dangerous, but in the end, Hiccup and Toothless managed to defeat the Red Death. The victory came at a cost. Hiccup was badly injured during the fight. When he finally woke up back in the village, things had changed forever. The Vikings were no longer fighting dragons. Instead, dragons now lived peacefully alongside the people of Berk. For the first time in their history, humans and dragons were friends. And the boy who once felt like he didn't belong anywhere ended up becoming the person who changed everything.